We're delighted to be joined by the one and only Drew Barrymore.
What's Drew's big news about her new season? Coming up on CBS Mornings.
Nobody says it like Gail.
If we can't talk about it and we can't make changes, when can we talk about it?
Gail King, CBS Mornings. Everything your morning should be.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Biggest news and statewide forecasts with the Alaska's News Source podcasts. Go to alaskasnewssource.com. It's never been easier to stay informed on your time. Take Alaska's News Source everywhere you go.
Today on the Morning Edition, an arrest has been made after an investigation of murder in a Sand Lake neighborhood. Plus,
it has grown now to 8 neighborhoods in Eagle River, Wasilla, and here in Anchorage. So it's getting bigger and bigger. Thank you very much.
the Halloween tradition of Trick or Treat comes early again this year, the emotional backstory to the annual neighborhood event. And later, one man's trash is another man's job. The latest addition to the early crew goes behind the scenes of Northern Waste as Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up and joining us here on this Monday. I'm Ariane Aramburo. Of course, let's get right to weather. And of course, I was talking before the newscast. I was like, let me guess. Rain.
I mean, that's what we've been dealing with. Of course, we did see some dry time into the weekend. Thankfully, this month has brought us more dry time than we saw last month, but certainly still a wet month. We've seen well over 2 inches of rainfall so far, and more is expected to fall across the Anchorage Bowl. In fact, much of South Central through the rest of this week. As far as this morning, temperature sitting right around 50 degrees, winds remaining on the calmer side. If you have noticed over the past about 72 hours, we have held on to some breezy, if not windy conditions, although the windiest weather has been confined to the higher elevations, certainly out towards the hillside where we've seen winds through the overnight hours gust upwards of about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Still holding on to some periodic rain showers this morning across South Central. We will see some dry time into the afternoon hours with another round of some heavier rain building in overnight on into Tuesday. But this persistent onshore flow pattern, you can see that is staying with us. That means that we're going to continue to hold on to some daily rainfall chances. We will see some drier days ahead through at least the middle of the week where we're going to see some dry time, maybe even some peaks of the sunshine before another round of some heavier rain is set to arrive by week's end. Since about midnight, very light rain has been occurring across South Central, upwards of about 1/10 of an inch through portions of the valley. Heavier rain from Seward out towards Cordova. This is where we could see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall here over the next 24 hours. But that precip chance shows that we're going to continue to keep that rainfall through the remainder of today and then gradually tapering off into the evening hours Tuesday. That's going to bring us our brief dry time through at least the middle of the week before another round of rain is set to arrive. 55 degrees is where we're going to make it today, with anywhere from about 1/10 to 3/10 of an inch of rainfall for inland regions of South Central. And again, heavier rainfall will occur for coastal regions with more rain as well as those cooler conditions staying with us. I'll have details on that in that 7-day forecast coming up.
A man is in custody this morning in connection with an ongoing homicide investigation. 23-year-old Anthony Sakaris has been arrested following police responding to what was initially a disturbance call around 8 o'clock Sunday morning. APD was contacted by Sakaris, who they say was suggesting that he was going to harm himself. After a SWAT response and takedown by a K-9 unit, Sakaris was eventually taken into custody, but as part of that, officers found a woman's body near the 8100 block of Bearberry Street. Sakaris is facing charges of first-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder. On Sunday, the Kenai Peninsula Borough Assembly held a special meeting, members voting unanimously against releasing internal HR reports on harassment allegations made against Mayor Charlie Pierce. However, the Assembly also voted in favor of disclosing items reviewed in an executive meeting held on August 23rd. The borough clerk confirming paper copies of formal statements from the Assembly about that meeting were shared with attendees. That document says, in part, because there was no external complaint filed in an administrative form or in court regarding those affirmation allegations, it was instead considered internal and was investigated as such. Well, if you're a fan of the State Fair, you probably know those giant vegetables are a main attraction. Well, feast your eyes on this. All of those impressive cabbages, giant pumpkins, colossal squash, they landed in the paws of some residents at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. Lots of visitors were there to check out the yearly feast as well.
What is going on behind you? Yeah, so we have the Big Bears, Big Veggies event, which is a very popular event every year. You can see we have a lot of locals that like to come out and see this, and tourists alike. These are veggies donated from Harvest Fest and the Alaska State Fair, and the growers generously send them our way, and we get to do fun enrichment with our bears.
The AWCC says when the bears aren't eating giant veggies, they especially like donated salmon and game meat, carrots, grapes, oranges, and some kibble to help balance out their diets. The full story is coming later this week in David Allgood's feature series, The Allgood News. Well, for 17 years, a trick-or-treat fundraiser in Anchorage has drawn crowds of people all across several different neighborhoods. And the tradition continues. As Lex Yelverton reports, it all started back in 2005 as a last wish of Ian Robbins, who was a terminally ill child. Now it is still giving back to the community well after his passing.
Please, everybody clap your hands.
This is Trick or Treat in the heat, but it hasn't always been this cheerful. Back in September of 2005, Ian Robbins was terminally sick with leukemia, and one of his final wishes was to celebrate Halloween.
The medical team alerted us that he probably would not make it to October 31st. My husband and some wonderful neighbors ran around the neighborhood on a Wednesday. By that Sunday, we were hoping to have a dozen houses so he could trick or treat one last time.
To their amazement, many houses participated and about 100 kids showed up for the block party. 17 years later, it is still going.
And it has grown now to 8 neighborhoods in Eagle River, Wasilla, and here in Anchorage. So it's getting bigger and bigger. Thank you very much.
They raise money for Hospice Anchorage, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Anchorage Ronald McDonald houses. 100% of all proceeds go directly to charity.
To sort of honor Ian and raise some funds for the organizations that helped our family during an extraordinary time.
People can purchase wristbands through their neighborhood of choice, and this year, every single neighborhood sold out. They estimated that this event has raised over $500,000 over the years.
Certainly this day is rooted in sorrow, and it's not an easy day. I am absolutely gobsmacked, though. The memories of this event with Ian and through the years, it's wind beneath our wings, so uplifting.
Ian's mom says there's just something about this event that really resonates with people, and that it's a good event for Alaskans to help Alaskans.
It was a joyful experience and a wonderful memory for our family.
Ian's starting something that keeps on giving. Lex Yelverton, Alaska's news source.
Well, the annual September 11th Firefighter Step Mill Challenge happens Sunday, where participants climb as many flights of stairs as they can in 11 minutes, shooting for 110, the number of stories of each of the World Trade Center towers. Photojournalist Phil Walzak shows us the commemorative event.
There we go. It's the 9/11 Step Mill Challenge, and members of the Anchorage Fire Department, all the volunteer departments around the state, we all try to climb 110 floors in 11 minutes to honor the ultimate sacrifice that firefighters and first responders made on 9/11. Let's go, Willie. 110 floors is quite a height. There's a lot of floors. And you got to remember, too, those firefighters on that day, they weren't walking up there empty-handed. They had tools, hoses on their shoulders. They were on air. So what we're doing here is just a little bit, smaller than what they were doing. But it's what we can do to remember.
I feel tired, but this stair climb is for a great cause and allows us to honor the men and women who lost their lives in 9/11.
It brings it home to the job that we do on a day-to-day basis, and it lets us never forget about that day 21 years ago. It's a challenging job sometimes. We were like you can see here behind us, we were all this heavy gear, are geared with the pack and the turnouts that we wear. It weighs anything from 60 to 70 pounds on your back.
This is 11 minutes of hard work. Yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable. You got to be ready to do this, you know, whenever it's asked of you. So the only way to do that is to get out here and do it.
An inescapable heat and discomfort, really. But I guess that's why we do these things, is to train with the discomfort. But yeah, there's a lot going on your feet, on your head, on your back, everywhere.
Every year we come out here and we try to do this a little bit, our portion here at AFD, to just honor and remember the 343 firefighters that made the ultimate sacrifice that day. It's just a little thing that we can do every year, but it helps us to remember everybody to give their lives that day, and we can challenge ourselves to do this climb and feel a little bit of what they felt that day.
A group of young students came together as a community to remember a day that they themselves have never experienced but are affected by each September. A community conversation held by the Alaska Black Caucus included the voices of young adults who weren't yet born on September 11th as they shared how 9/11 has impacted them. The resounding theme, hope is alive.
To be thankful to people who helped out, or they were a first responder or not, and that they just kind of helped out to the best of their ability, whether they made it out or not. And just be thankful for them.
There's like regular people that's helping other people out. And sometimes we need that in our society because of whatever we're going through. So what I take from that is that there's still hope and that there's still good people out there that can help us out.
Should be able to see that.
Along with the panel, Sunday included a brief but poignant 11-second moment of silence. Next week, another community conversation that's open to the public. You can always register on the Alaska Black Caucus website. And after the break, more on remembering those lost 21 years ago.
This is a day not only to remember, but a day of renewal and resolve for each and every American.
How the nation is commemorating those that died on September 11th.
This newscast is brought to you in part by GCI. No other company has Alaska's most advanced network, keeping businesses connected and empowering a future full of possibility. GCI, here for Alaska today and tomorrow.
What does it take to connect healthcare with a secure network? What does it take to make the North Slope more efficient? And to connect schools with digital education tools. It takes commitment and Alaska know-how. Since 1979, GCI has invested billions to build and maintain Alaska's most advanced network, which means no company understands how to connect Alaska businesses like we do, no matter what it takes.
Enjoying spending time with your family?
How did we get to this place?
Great workout.
Oh, no!
Then come spend time with Modern Family.
What am I looking at here?
Oh, it's a role-playing thing we do on Valentine's. It bumps the lovemaking up.
Phil, come for the comedy.
I'm coming for you, Lily. Hey, stop! Let's go!
Stay for the love.
Thank you for being so vulnerable with me.
I hate you.
Modern Family.
Weeknights at 6:30 on CBS 5.
I just want cremation.
Cremation specialists in Alaska.
Can I have a service before cremation?
Our staff is committed to serving your needs.
I just want something basic. The simpler, the better.
Specializing in simple cremations. Whatever your reasons are for choosing cremation, call Cremation Society of Alaska, 277-2777, or in the Valley, 373-8627, and on the web at alaskacremation.com.
Alaska's news source at noon is your midday connection to breaking news, statewide forecasts, and developing stories from across Alaska and the lower 48. Sponsored in part by Alcan Family Dental. At Alcan Family Dental, we hear you. Watch Alaska's news source at 6. Brought to you in part by Anchorage Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Your hometown dealer since 1963.
Hello?
Elaine's found the perfect guy.
He doesn't play games.
What is the point of dating without games? How do
do you know if you're winning or losing?
But Kramer's new friend...
Well, don't they know I have a gastrointestinal disorder? They're trying to kill it, Papi.
doesn't sit well with Jerry.
Is it? Could it? It is! Papi, Peter, myself out!
Watch the next Seinfeld.
Weeknights at 9 on My Network TV.
You could be dreaming about this, but let's talk about right now. Download the Alaska's Weather Source app so you have this team of meteorologists by your side, so you're prepared for whatever weather is coming our way.
Everywhere I go.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Back 13 minutes past the hour. Let's get a check of weather as folks are making plans to get out for the day. Aaron, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. More rain back across South Central. That's what we've been monitoring for quite some time now. So far, through the first about 2 weeks of September, we've seen just under 2 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. Now, normal to date is just over an inch. So we are certainly sitting to the good when it comes to September as a whole. In fact, this time last month, we were already approaching 3 inches of rainfall. So even though it has been a wet September, we are nowhere near as wet as what we saw last month. This is the third consecutive month where we're seeing that rainfall or precipitation trend certainly sitting in the green. So as we continue to see some of this rain sticking around for a large portion of September, we are going to end the month with above average precip. But the good news is we are going to see some drier days ahead through at least the middle of the week before another round of rain builds in by week's end. So we've got periodic rain showers across South Central, some scattered activity out towards southwest Alaska, and then we've got some spotty activity as you head out towards Seward Peninsula this morning. We're going to continue to hold on to that chance through the remainder of the day. Many areas holding on to anywhere from about a tenth to just shy of 3/10 of an inch of rainfall for inland regions of South Central, while Seward and in areas out towards Prince William Sound easily see about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall today. We're also holding on to some of those breezier, if not windier conditions. Of course, the higher elevation seeing the best shot of that out towards South Anchorage, out towards the hillside, where we're seeing some winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour this morning. You can see into the afternoon hours, those winds do die down. We'll see some dry time today, and then another round of rainfall is expected to build in overnight on into our Tuesday. So this persistent onshore flow, that is set to stay with us here over the next several days. So we are going to keep that daily rainfall chance in the forecast. Now, no day looks to bring any significant rainfall for the time being, but we will see anywhere from about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall for a large portion of South Central into Wednesday. And then you can see by Wednesday morning, heavier rain shifts out towards southeast with at least a brief dry spell for the region. As far as today, we're going to make it back into the mid-50s. You can see keeping a chance for anywhere from about 70 to 80% chance of that rainfall around through the remainder of the day. Heavier rainfall per usual out towards coastal regions, Valdez, Cordova, Seward, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected, while inland areas through the evening expected to see upwards of about 3/10 of an inch of rainfall, and then heavier rain returns overnight on into Tuesday. So go ahead and prepare for another wet week ahead with some dry time built in over the next 7 days. Sunnier skies across southeast, 65 in Ketchikan, 59 in Juneau, as well as Skagway. Then we've got Yakutat holding in at the mid-50s. Heavier rain out towards Seward, still holding on to those temperatures in the 50s across a large portion of the region, 49 in Valdez, 55 in Golcana, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected for portions of Prince William Sound. Rain showers across the valley today. We could see some breezier conditions at times for the remainder of your Monday. That 7-day forecast, you can see some drier time returning into the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday looking to be drier, with Friday and Saturday bringing another round of rain showers. Those overnight lows falling into the mid-40s, feeling quite nice in the morning. Now, sunrise coming in at 7:19 this morning. We've got 13 hours and 10 minutes of daylight today in that rainy September weather.
All right. Thanks, Aaron, for the update. Well, on Sunday, the nation marked the 21st anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks by honoring the nearly 3,000 lives that were lost on that tragic day. Mike Valero has more on President Biden's message to the country.
A moment of silence in New York City on a somber Sunday 21 years after the September 11th terrorist attacks. When al-Qaeda hijackers flew airliners into the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and the eventual crash into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing nearly 3,000 people.
It should not take another tragedy to unite our nation.
At the September 11th memorial in New York City, family and friends read the names of their loved ones.
Howard Lee Kane, Jennifer Lynn Kane.
Firefighter Vincent D. Kane, Engine 22.
While at the Pentagon, President Joe Biden attended a wreath-laying ceremony where he paid tribute to those killed there.
This is a day not only to remember, but a day of renewal and resolve for each and every American.
Biden also referenced the drone strike which killed Ayman al-Zawahiri earlier this year, saying the al-Qaeda terrorist leader would never threaten the American people again. The president also shared what he sees as the greatest lesson learned from 9/11.
We regain the light by reaching out to one another and finding something all too rare, a true sense of national unity. To me, that's the greatest lesson of September 11th.
On the anniversary of a day we will never forget. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
And before he traveled to D.C. on Sunday, President Biden told reporters he had a plan for the families of 9/11 victims who are still seeking justice, but didn't elaborate. Well, still ahead, Weather Lab is back in the classroom, and this morning, Melissa will take us along as she explains to students and us why we've had so much summer rain.
Prevention is important. Help prevent the spread of illness and keep yourself and others well. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of germs. Wash your hands regularly with soap and hot water, scrubbing your hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds. Hand sanitizers can be used but are not recommended as a substitute for hand washing. Use sanitizers in addition to hand washing or in a situation where soap and water are not available. To avoid spreading germs, limit sharing of personal items such as utensils, cups, and dishes. Your skin acts as a barrier to germs, but your eyes, nose, and mouth are more vulnerable. Wash your hands thoroughly before touching your face, eating, or drinking. Avoid physical contact with others, including handshakes, fist bumps, high fives, hugs, and kisses. Social distancing is deliberately increasing the physical space between people to avoid spreading germs. While regulations may vary by country or area, the best guideline for social distancing is to maintain a distance of 6 feet from others. Germs can travel through the air from one person to another. If you sneeze or cough, do so into a tissue or the inside of your elbow to prevent the spread of germs. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves until they have recovered and are symptom-free. Clean and sanitize frequently touched common surfaces and high-traffic areas in your home and workplace several times a day. Share these guidelines with others and help prevent the spread of illness and maintain a healthy environment. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.
Alaska's news source is on your TV in a new way. If your TV has an internet connection, you can stream in-depth reports, statewide forecasts, fan-favorite sports moments, and more when you add Alaska's news source to your channel library. Here's what to do if you're watching on Roku. Go to the main search area, type in Alaska's news source, choose Add Channel, and you're good to go. If you have a newer version of Apple TV, click the App Store button on the home page, search for Alaska's news source, and add the channel. Once it downloads, you're all set. Watching on Amazon Fire? Type Alaska's news source into the search bar, choose the app, hit download, and watch when you're ready. Alaska is stronger with local journalism, and we're here to help you stay informed so you can watch us live or on demand.
Listen to the free Alaska's News Source podcast. You'll hear about in-depth investigations, special reports, and statewide forecasts. To have episodes download automatically, subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts.
Everywhere I go.
You're watching Alaska's Weather Source.
Well, the Alaska's Weather Source Weather Lab is back in session for the new school year. This week, Melissa Fry went to Alaska Native Cultural Charter School in Anchorage, where the students want to know, why did it rain so much in August?
Hiya,
The school year is just getting started at Alaska Native Cultural Charter School, but these students are already getting important lessons about science, language, and culture. And on this day, it's through a story about a mouse, its den, and the food it shares.
What does the grass tell me? That's where it sleeps.
The lessons continue beyond what's found in the ground to what's found in the air. And in a state as big as ours, there's a lot of weather to learn about and experience. What's the weather like in Kotzebue, do you know?
In the winter, it's mostly blizzards.
I got to show these fourth graders how we can monitor the weather across such a large area. Tell me, what is the temperature there?
24 degrees.
So a thermometer measures the temperature of the air. Can you guys say anemometer? Anemometer. Yes, and the anemometer tells me the wind, direction, and speed. The weather can change from one extreme to another very quickly in Alaska. Hot air rises and cold air sinks. But it can also stay the same for long periods of time.
We are fourth graders in Alaska Native Culture Charter School. We want to know why it's raining in August.
And that is our Weather Lab question of the week. It is normal for us to see more rain in August than any other summer month, but this year was extreme. We ended up with 6.8 inches of rain. That's nearly 4 inches more than normal, and the third wettest August on record. But why did we get so much rain? It all comes back to high and low pressure, forcing the jet stream to aim straight for us. For much of August, a deep trough in the upper levels of the atmosphere set up over western Alaska. This pattern was essentially stuck as the opposite, a ridge, sat over the Pacific Northwest. This helped storms form across the western side of the state and carry them right into South Central. It was as if there was a fire hose pointed right at us with nothing to move it one way or another, leaving us stuck in the path of storm after storm for most of the month.
Now, next week, Melissa is going to Trailside Elementary School, where the students want to know just how wide hurricanes can get. Now, if you are a teacher or an administrator and would like Melissa to visit your school, you can sign up at alaskasnewssource.com/weatherlab before the slots fill up. Of course, we just talked about just why it was so wet for August, and certainly starting off September. We are welcoming in our second week of September, or closing in on our second week of September, I should say, and it's still wet outside. 49 degrees in Bethel, 52 degrees in Cold Bay out towards the slope. We do have those temperatures hovering near freezing. 35 degrees in Utqiagvik, 51 in Nome, and then out towards southeast, we've got those temperatures in the 40s to near 50 degrees. So we've got some rain showers this morning as you head off to school with a temperature of 51 degrees. We are going to stay in the 50s today, keeping that chance for some rain in the forecast, as well as some breezy, if not some windy conditions. That trough ridge pattern that we just talked about still setting up shop across portions of the Bering. That means we're going to continue to see this rainy weather pattern across a good portion of the state for the time being. Now, we will see some dry time here and there. A better shot for that will occur Wednesday and Thursday before another round of rain is set to arrive by week's end. But as far as September, still shaping up to be another wet one across the South Central. So there's our Wednesday and Thursday time period. Then you can see from Friday into the first part of the weekend, we are expected to see that rain back into the forecast across a good portion of September. And you can see, in fact, looking ahead through at least September 21st, a large portion of the state will continue to see that tilt towards wetter weather. What does this mean for us? Well, yes, we're going to continue to hold on to the cloudy conditions. The wet weather will be here as well. But as far as our temperatures, we're expected to stay in the low to mid 50s daily for highs as we head through the next week or so.
When we come back, the Department of Justice demands the classified documents that were taken from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, the ongoing clash between the DOJ and the former president's attorneys. Plus, Queen Elizabeth II's coffin is being transported to Scotland, the emotional remembrance of the monarch.
This newscast is brought to you in part by Bell's Nursery and Gifts. Making beautiful flowers a part of your life.
Fresh, vine, ripened produce, succulent, juicy, and full of flavor. Bell's Nursery has been providing Alaskans just that since 1972. Available across the state, our tomatoes and cucumbers are picked at their peak ripeness and delivered to stores the same day. When you see the Alaska flag sticker, you know it's fresh and flavorful. Tomato, no matter how you say it, we have them for you straight off the vine. Bell's Nursery, from our greenhouse to your grocer for nearly 50 years.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. Oh, there's so much they hold.
It's hard to imagine that this powerful, beautiful animal needs our help. But they are being killed for their skin and bones, and their homes are being destroyed. But there is hope. Tigers are at the heart of so many delicate ecosystems. When you protect a tiger, you also protect thousands of species and people that rely on the same habitat. That means protecting everything from mangroves that help fight climate change. All places that the tiger calls home.
Well, I won't give up. God knows I'm tough. He knows we got a lot to learn.
When we protect tigers, we all benefit. Learn how you can make a difference. Visit worldwildlife.org/tigers.
Search Alaska's News Source in your channel store to watch on demand. Watch live on Channel 2 and CBS 5, or take news and weather on the go with our free apps. However your day unfolds, Alaska's News Source is there when you're ready to catch up.
Look at this all-star team.
We are happy to help.
Let's go!
This is very dangerous.
Poison, biotoxins.
Very bad guys.
You have to act fast.
Shut it down. Drop it now.
You really don't want me to do that.
The battle's just started, but we've already won. 'Cause we're about to get in time.
Good morning, everyone. Back here on a Monday, 30 minutes past the hour. A live look at conditions down along 4th Avenue from photojournalist Mike Niederbrock. Still dark, still waiting on our sun to come up, but still kind of going to be another wet, damp day.
We've been talking about it for several weeks now, really since July 12th, nonstop rain. That is what we're continuing to see across South Central. We are numbering our days of summer as fall officially starts next week, as we continue to see some of those shorter days make an appearance here in South Central. Of course, you can see Homer, but you can see those overcast skies. That is what we've been dealing with. Certainly holding on to some peaks of sunshine through parts of the weekend, but as you step outside, you certainly notice those trees beginning to change. Anchorage tilting more towards a 25 to 45% coverage when it comes to that fall foliage along the Glen Highway out towards Fairbanks. That's where we're seeing more of our colors certainly beginning to peak, and then out towards southeast. May see some trend towards some fall foliage beginning to peak through, but certainly still sitting on the greener side. Widespread rain across South Central this morning. Heavier rain will occur for Prince William Sound out towards Seward as well, while inland areas anywhere from about a tenth to just shy of 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. The good news is river levels across South Central certainly holding pretty stable across the region. We have a few isolated areas sitting near flood stage, but with that very light to moderate rain we're going to see today, certainly not going to exacerbate any of those issues. Temperatures today returning back into the mid-50s. We're holding on to that rain for most of the day with some dry time into the afternoon hours.
Well, it's a matter of national security. That is why the Justice Department wants access to classified documents seized from former President Trump's home. A judge ruled a special master should go through them first, but the DOJ says it needs those documents now. Amy Kiley reports Trump has until later this morning to weigh in.
I'm concerned, like any American should be,
The Justice Department says it needs continued access to the classified documents seized from former President Donald Trump's security.
Classified, yes, top secret. But the consequences of the wrong people seeing this, the wrong people getting their hands on this, is significant.
Former Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says he's worried the documents could identify U.S. intelligence sources. He says this public battle over them could make allies think twice about providing the U.S. with information.
We can't do it without partners. We can't do it without allies.
A judge has paused the DOJ's review of the documents. She wants to appoint a special master to filter out potentially privileged information first. But the Justice Department says it needs to see the documents now. Trump's response to that request due this morning.
I would have been so much more respectful of the department and of this attorney general if they turned around and said, you know what, good idea to have a special master. We have nothing to hide.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The Justice Department also is appealing the judge's decision to appoint a special master. In other news, Queen Elizabeth II's coffin began the 6-hour journey from Balmoral Castle to Scotland's capital of Edinburgh. The Queen's daughter, Princess Anne, accompanied the cortege as it made its way through tiny villages and small towns. Thousands of people lined the roads in tribute and to view the Queen's coffin, which was covered with the Royal Standard of Scotland, as well as a wreath of flowers on top. President Biden will discuss his vision for another American moonshot later today at the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library. The new vision is meant to change people's lives for the better, improve their health, and decrease the burden of the disease. The president is expected to sign an executive order today that establishes the Biotechnology and Biomanufacturing Initiative to ensure cutting-edge biotechnologies necessary to end cancer as we know it. In February, the administration announced it was revamping the Cancer Moonshot program in an effort to reduce the amount of deaths from the disease by at least 50% over the next 25 years. Coming up on the Morning Edition, the latest feature for the early crew. So tag along to see what happens to your trash after throw it away.
Only 4,000 miles away, 6 Supreme Court justices took away one of Alaska's most fundamental freedoms, our right to choose. And frankly, that's a game changer. I'm Mary Peltola, mom of 7, grandmother of 2, and a committed advocate for personal privacy rights. The federal government has no business taking away our freedoms. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message because we should have the right to make choices that work for ourselves and our families.
Rico was born in 2014. He was diagnosed at the age of 3 with medulloblastoma. It was a must or do the surgery to take it out and see what it is. So we decided to go for surgery. After the surgery, they told us, Mom, it's a medulloblastoma. It's an aggressive type of cancer, and we need to treat him right away. They said, for medulloblastoma, St. Jude is the best. Before anything happened, he liked going outside, going to playground with his daddy.
He's my son, but at the same time, he's my best friend. I always said, so, yeah, you are strong, you are very brave, so you can fight.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because all they should worry about is helping their child live.
I've never had any hospital not charging patients.
That's the greatest part of the St. Jude.
I am very grateful that people consider enough to sacrifice their life to donate. That's really amazing.
Times of transition, whether from a sad event or a joyful one, can leave us feeling adrift. Social connections become even more important. Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health. It can lead to high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain connections to people whose relationships bring meaning to your life. Try a new hobby, volunteer, exercise, or use your phone or other device to stay in touch. These can be great ways to keep up your social connections and your physical and mental well-being. Visit connecttoeffect.org to see if you're at risk of social isolation and find ways to stay connected. This message is brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Missed the latest newscasts from Alaska's news source? Download the free View It app to your TV or mobile devices. View It has lots of original programming, including local newscasts from 10 days ago. Plus, you can watch specials from Alaska's news source on demand.
Welcome back in on this Monday morning, coming in at 38 minutes past the hour. We've got rain back across South Central. Those temperatures holding in the 50s. Another rainy day can be expected for parts of South Central through the day with some dry time into the afternoon hours. Currently holding at 50 degrees. It's calm winds at the surface, although out towards South Anchorage as well as in higher elevations, certainly still holding on to some of those breezier conditions. That hour-by-hour forecast, we're going to hold in the 50s for most of the day. The mid-50s is what we're going to see for that afternoon high. You can see that keeping that chance for some rain around into the afternoon and evening hours. Now, we will see some dry time. Better shot for that will be towards mid-morning, early afternoon before another round of rain arrives to this evening, overnight on into your Tuesday. 39 in Utqiagvik today, 56 in McGrath. We'll make it to 54 in Bethel, out towards the Aleutians. Temperatures in the low to mid-50s with some breezy conditions, and out towards southeast. We'll see some sunshine near Ketchikan with a high of 65 degrees. Further north out towards Yakutat, a high of 56 with some light rain showers.
It's a messy job, but somebody's got to do it. And this week's The Early Crew, photojournalist Mike Niederbrock hitched a ride on a trash truck.
My name is Brad Cutway. I work for Northern Waste, and I have been on the Early Crew since we started this company 5.5 years ago. When I was in school, they said that Rome was the greatest civilization ever, and it failed because of politics and garbage. So I think that if you don't keep things clean and keep things that can contaminate your water supply and your food supply, if you don't keep that cleaned up, then you can't have much of a civilization. I consider my job more of a custodian. Forks all lined out so that every little minute helps, every second helps. Because you gotta do a lot of cans in a day. So if you're already in motion, when you grab it, flick it like that, a little ball bearing opens up the lock bar. Straighten her out as she comes up, she doesn't spill any trash. And we're done. Now she comes back down. Do the same thing as we did on the other one. Just gonna make sure she's all angled, straight. It's uniform with the other one. Make sure you see that pretty logo on there. There we are. Well, trash is good. It's good in the way that it's a byproduct that we're going to have no matter what. But if you contain it and you take care of it, then we all go about living our lives. Any utility, we live our lives without really realizing the importance of it and how much different life would be if they weren't taken care of. So that's what we do. Come out early in the morning, get it all taken care of before anyone even realizes that it's something you need to think about.
Very cool. Yeah, if you know someone who would make a great feature for the Early Crew, be sure to send us an email to news@ktuu.com and put the Early Crew there in the subject line. Well, after the break, television recognizes its talents and superstars, what to expect from the Emmy Awards and its host this year.
The Hutz's show is here.
Put your hands together. I gotta talk to you now.
I left work to come.
You left work? They gonna see you. He's with me today. We're lighting up daytime, baby.
And you're going to bless people every single day.
We're giving back, lifting each other up. Something hits you in your heart. We're doing it all. Yeah! Mama Helen, coming to the rescue.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 5. Watch Alaska's News Source at 4, brought to you in part by Bailey's Furniture. Get Buddy's price and fall in love with your local hometown furniture store. Voted Best of Alaska 18 years in a row.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest. Like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie. How's sketches, mate? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. Yeah, you didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong. To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have debate talk.
Recapping our top stories, a man is in custody this morning in connection with an ongoing homicide investigation. 23-year-old Anthony Sakaras has been arrested following police responding to what was initially a disturbance call around 8 o'clock Sunday morning. APD was contacted by Sakaras, who they say was suggesting that he was going to harm himself. After a SWAT response and takedown by a K-9 unit, Sakaras was eventually taken into custody, but as part of that, officers found a woman's body near the 8100 block of Bearberry Street. Sakaras is facing charges of first-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder.
In this matter.
The Kenai Peninsula Borough Assembly held a special meeting Sunday, members voting unanimously against releasing internal HR reports on harassment allegations made against Mayor Charlie Pierce. However, the Assembly also voted in favor of disclosing items reviewed in an executive meeting held on August 23rd. The borough clerk confirming paper copies of formal statements from the Assembly about that meeting were shared with attendees. That document says, in part, because there was no external complaint filed in an administrative form or in court regarding those aforementioned allegations, it was instead considered internal and was investigated as such.
Live look outside on this Monday morning, 46 minutes past the hour. We've got some wet roads across South Central as we're continuing to hold on to that wet weather pattern across the region. We're going to continue to see daily rainfall chances. Now, drier time by the middle of the week, but what we're watching, this troughing pattern out towards the Bering, and then we've got a ridge of high pressure just off of the coast of the Panhandle, and that's going to continue to drive storms right here in South Central here over the next several days. So keeping that chance for some rain through the remainder of our Monday. We'll see some dry time into the afternoon hours for portions of South Central. You can see across across a good portion of the state. We're going to see some scattered activity on into the overnight hours. Southeast, you see the return to that rain through the overnight on into Tuesday. This is where we're going to see that heavier band of some rainfall arrive through the day Tuesday on into Wednesday. As far as what we're going to see in the days ahead, though, drier weather by the middle of the week with more rain by week's end. So sunnier skies to the south, Ketchikan 65, 59 in Juneau, as well as Skagway, and 55 degrees in Haines. Through the interior, we do have some windy conditions through the range, 56 in Healy, 59 in Delta Junction. Those winds gusting easily anywhere from about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Elsewhere, maybe just a light breeze with those temperatures near 60 degrees. We got some spot showers and breezy conditions across the slope. 47 in Anaktuvuk, 41 degrees in Dead Horse. Those overnight lows falling back down into the 30s across western Alaska, keeping that chance for some showers and breezy weather in the forecast, as well as that troughing pattern will keep those winds out of the east, upwards of about 15 to 25 miles per hour for coastal regions, while out towards Bristol Bay, as well as the Kuskokwim Delta, we're going to see those winds gust anywhere from about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Showers and breezy conditions across the Aleutians with temperatures in the 50s. Those overnight lows hovering into the upper 40s as we head through tomorrow morning. We've got some heavier rain near Seward, where we could see up to an inch to an inch and a half of rainfall, lighter amounts elsewhere. Kodiak, 57 degrees, 54 in Soldotna, 1 to 2 inches through Prince William Sound. Copper River Basin, drier, a high of 55 degrees for you. Those winds out of the south gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Through the valley, we're also going to see a chance for some rain sticking around through the day, anywhere from about 1/10 to just shy of 3/10 of an inch of rainfall looks to be on target for many inland areas. 54 in Willow, 55 degrees in Palmer. Also warming into the low to mid 50s from Anchorage out towards Girdwood. We'll see some gusts up to 30 miles per hour through the day. Better shot for that will be through South Anchorage as well as the higher elevations. Again, some dry time into the afternoon hours. Then we'll see another round of rain arrive through the evening hours overnight on into Tuesday.
Visa, MasterCard, and American Express will add a new merchant category for firearms retailers. A victory for gun control advocates. This comes after pressing the financial industry to do more to help curb mass shootings. The new category was approved by an internal entity that sets industry standards. Until now, gun shops were categorized as specialty or durable goods sellers. This code is for businesses that primarily sell firearms. Big box retailers have different merchant category codes. The card network says they'll implement it while supporting lawful purchases and protecting consumer privacy. Well, more and more people are thinking about their environmental impact when they travel. Now hotels are taking notice. Michael George takes us on a tour of what could be the country's first net zero carbon emissions hotel.
The first thing you'll notice about New Haven, Connecticut's Hotel Marcel is the unique architecture. The famed architect Marcel Breuer designed it in the 1960s as an office building, but the inside has received a modern-day makeover.
So what are we looking at here?
So this is the battery room for Hotel Marcel's microgrid.
Architect and developer Bruce Becker designed this hotel to be all electric. It's self-powered using no fossil fuels, and it also aims to be the first net zero carbon emissions hotel in the nation.
Why was this important to you to make this happen?
I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to make a building that's going to be here for a while, that not only will it be beautiful, but it'll be beautiful for the environment.
Every inch of the hotel is designed with the environment in mind. Solar panels on the roof and parking lot keep the power on. Electric heat pumps and triple glazed windows moderate the temperature. There are electric car chargers, an electric shuttle van. Even the kitchen has an electric range instead of a gas one. While all this may seem expensive, Becker says it pays for itself.
It also keeps our energy costs down. If you're not using electricity, you net that out, you don't have an electric bill, so that helps financially.
Since opening in May, the no-footprint approach is working, bringing in customers like Edward McLaughlin.
Environmentally, it's highly appealing to me to be somewhere that leaves no footprint on our environment. It's incredibly important.
Becker says it will take a year of testing to confirm his building is truly net zero when it comes to carbon emissions. But he believes others could follow his lead and create a new standard for hotels in the future. Michael George, CBS News, New Haven, Connecticut.
There are more people going to mortuary schools. We're dead serious on this. The American Board of Funeral Service Education says there was a 24% jump in enrollment from 2020 to 2021. This year, enrollment could have been even higher. This is promising as an industry facing a worker shortage. A funeral service education takes less time than a full college degree. Right now, 90% of students have a job after graduating. In 2021, the median salary for a funeral home manager was $74,000 and about $49,000 for a mortician. Well, Hollywood's gearing up for a big night. The 74th Emmy Awards are on tap tonight on NBC, saluting the year's top work in television. Jennifer Bjorklund's in Los Angeles with a preview.
You may have heard this term, peak TV, about the overwhelming number of TV shows and services out there these days.
The landscape of TV is so huge, it's really hard to contain it within the Emmys.
But they'll try tonight.
Sharks are coming.
HBO's Succession has the most nominations, 25, including Best Drama, which it won 2 years ago.
Emmy history will tell you that the show that won before is very likely to win again.
But the Apple TV Plus thriller Severance could be a spoiler, or Netflix's Squid Game, the first non-English language nominee for series honors.
People saying there's something wrong with us.
Ted Lasso looks to repeat as best comedy. Its rivals include Barry, Only Murders in the Building, and Abbott Elementary.
Ted Lasso was definitely the comedy of the moment last year, and it probably still is.
But the man of the moment is Kenan Thompson. The SNL veteran is tonight's Emmys host.
I'm not worried about anybody trying to slap me necessarily, unless it's like funny.
Laughs are expected, and maybe a few tears as television honors its best. Jennifer Bjorklund, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Well, the Emmys, hard to believe. It's already been a year.
And, you know, they mentioned Only Murders in This Building. I was actually really surprised at how that show has turned out.
I haven't watched that.
It's one of those one of those shows where you have to get through the first 3 episodes and then you get hooked.
Then it sucks you in. Okay. All right. Well, the trailer for the new season of The Mandalorian has arrived. A lot of folks excited about this. It was unveiled at Disney's D23 Expo on Saturday.
Yeah, the popular action series with the bounty hunter and lovable baby Yoda wrapped up its 2nd season in December of 2020. Now, in the finale, the title character and Grogu were separated.
The two were reunited in a spin-off series, The Book of Boba Fett. The new season of The Mandalorian starts streaming in 2023 on Disney+. I like the little baby Yoda. I didn't
Looking forward to
necessarily
that.
get behind or see The Mandalorian, but it was super popular.
Well, get your blenders ready. Today is National Chocolate Milkshake Day. Ice cream lovers, chocolate lovers, or anyone with a sweet tooth, this is your day to indulge.
Yum. Observe by enjoying a chocolate milkshake at your favorite restaurant, or maybe just whip one up yourself. You can share what you're having online, of course, whenever they have these, with the hashtag Chocolate Milkshake Day. I mean, it's a classic.
And if you don't want a milkshake, just go with the ice cream.
Just go with chocolate ice cream. I'm a cookies and cream fan, so that's.
I mean, I'll take chocolate ice cream, but I like strawberry ice cream. Well, Queen Elizabeth's famous and beloved corgis have a new home. The dogs are expected to live with the Duke and Duchess of York, Andrew and Sarah, on the Windsor estate, where the divorced couple both live.
That is according to a source that is close to the Duke of York. In addition to her 2 Pembroke Welsh corgis, Muick and Sandy, the Queen is reported to have left behind an older mixed breed Dorgie called Candy and a Cocker Spaniel named Lizzie. So.
She loved her corgis.
She did love her corgis, so it's good to know that they'll be moving on to a nice little home there.
Well, still holding on to some rain showers this morning as you step outside. That heavier rain is falling across Prince William Sound. Beginning to see some drier time build in across portions of the Kenai. That will be the trend into the afternoon hours before we see more rain arrive into the night and carrying us on into Tuesday. Temperatures today staying in the 50s across South Central. We may even manage to see some isolated areas across Prince William Sound only stay in the 40s for highs today. Here over the next several days, you can see daily highs mid to upper 50s. We'll see drier conditions Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe some peaks of sunshine as well. So not an all day or all week rainy event, but still living up to the wettest month of the year.
Yeah,
September.
little spots and straws there. All right. Well, stay with us. Coming up at our next hour, Steven Spielberg has a new movie out, one that's inspired by his childhood. That story next.
This newscast is brought to you in part by Bailey's Furniture. Get Buddy's price and fall in love with your local hometown furniture store. Voted Best of Alaska 18 years in a row.
Bailey's Furniture is having a warehouse inventory blowout sale. We're overstocked. Now our problem means huge savings for you. Get discounts off our clearance prices and our everyday already low Buddies price. This is your chance to save like never before on any of our mattresses or amazing bedroom sets. Includes all of the popular sizes along with our just-in-stock wall beds. Come in while we're overstocked with quality bedroom sets and mattresses, all at slash prices.
Prevention is important. When a person becomes ill, these simple guidelines can help prevent the spread of illness and keep others well. If someone in your home becomes ill, keep your entire household at home to avoid infecting others. Don't go to work or to school. Call before going to a doctor's office. It may be advisable to stay home and protect others from being infected. For severe symptoms, seek immediate medical attention. Isolation means separating yourself so no germs are passed to others. If you become ill, sleep in a separate room, use a separate bathroom, and avoid common spaces. Take measures to protect the elderly and those susceptible to illness by keeping them away from the ill person. Face masks can help limit the spread of germs when an ill person talks, coughs, or sneezes. Wear a face mask if you are ill or suspect you may be ill. Avoid contact with pets. If an ill individual pets an animal, he may leave germs on the pet's fur that can be transmitted to others. If you are ill, use disposable dishes and utensils wherever possible. A contagious person's laundry should be cleaned separately from others to prevent the spread of germs. Dedicate a separate lined trash can for the ill person and carefully dispose of trash in an outdoor waste receptacle. Clean and sanitize common surfaces frequently. Use a standard disinfectant, such as hydrogen peroxide, bleach and water, or rubbing alcohol. Share these guidelines with others and help prevent the spread of illness and maintain a healthy environment. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.
Looking to start your career in television and multimedia? From entry-level to experienced, if you or someone you know is interested in applying for a job at Channel 2 and CBS 5, visit alaskasnewssource.com and click on About Us. Get Alaska's News Source on demand.